Hello, this is Dr. Whiting again, and today I want to talk to you about probably the most common yet most feared four-letter word in the English language, and that's diet. And more than anything else, more people at any given time are on a diet. It seems that we have more overweight people today than at any other time in history, and we have more people at any given time on a diet. Now, today I'm not going to talk about a whole new source of diet. I'm going to save that for later. In fact, our research center is in the process of putting out a full-length book on why diets fail. So you may want to stay with us and watch for the release of that book, especially if you've been fighting the battle of the bulge for any length of time. One of the first things I want to make clear to all of you is that there is no single diet that's right for everybody. There is no diet that will work for everybody because we're all different. Our chemistries are different, our metabolisms are different, our genetics are different, and our lifestyles are different. And to take that many variables and expect all of us to respond to one single diet is absolute madness. Now, many physicians and almost all dietitians simply oversimplify the weight loss and say, just eat less food. That's all you have to do. You will lose weight. The only reason people are overweight is because they eat more calories than they burn. Now, for a great deal of people, that's true. However, it's not true or not that simplistic for many of us. You see, there are a whole variety of reasons why people gain weight. Some people simply overeat. For those individuals, cutting back on the amount of food they intake will be helpful. For others, it's not the amount of food, but the type of food that is of concern. Many of us have a condition called hyperinsulinemia, or excess insulin production. And insulin is responsible. Its primary function is to convert blood sugar into body fat. Fat that is energy to be used later on. The more insulin your body produces, the more glucose or sugar can and will be converted to body fat. So if you are what we call a carbohydrate intolerant individual, in other words, you do not tolerate the ingestion of higher amounts of carbohydrate or sugar-forming foods, well, then your obesity problem could easily be linked to excess insulin production. Going on a low-calorie diet, if this is your chemical problem, will be effective only in the very short term, maybe for the first 2 to 4 weeks, and then you will plateau and your weight loss will stop. The reason for that is that the majority of low-calorie diets are very high in carbohydrates or sugar-forming foods. And once these foods begin to be ingested at higher and higher amounts, the body gears up its production of insulin. And that insulin is going to convert that blood sugar into triglycerides and store it in your fat cells. So the first thing that we need to do when we talk about diet is to determine what type of diet is best for you. Are you a calorie person? Are you a carbohydrate person? Are you a severe carbohydrate intolerant? Are you hypoglycemic? Are you diabetic? Do you suffer from PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome? We need to understand and be able to look at that. At our research center, we can, in fact, through very simple nutrient evaluations, identify the body type that best suits you. Once we do that, we can then put you on a diet program that is going to work more in conjunction with your body chemistry rather than against it. Now, there are some other factors, of which we don't have time to go into all of them today, that can prevent weight loss or even cause weight gain. In fact, we have identified over 10 of them. They will be published later this year or early next year in our new work. I want to touch on some of them. Of course, the biggest reason why diets fail is non-compliance. We cheat. And there'll be an entire chapter devoted to why we cheat, because I think when people understand why they sabotage their health, their appearance, and their longevity, for a momentary kiss on the lips of some sweet treat or some high-fat, high-calorie food. I think when we understand why people do that, it's easier to control that. But some of the other factors that we need to consider in weight loss or in the prevention of weight loss would be stress. People who are under high amounts of stress oftentimes have a great deal of difficulty losing weight. In fact, they continue to gain weight even though they're on a very low-calorie diet. This is because when you are under excess stress, the adrenal glands, which sit just above your kidneys in your lower back, produce excess amounts of a hormone called cortisol. And when cortisol is produced to excess, it causes the body to convert more glucose to fat. And that fat is almost always stored around the midsection, in the tummy, upper thighs, the backside, and so forth. In fact, that's a classic fat storage pattern of people who have been under prolonged periods of stress. Other issues that can affect your weight loss or prevent weight loss would be if you had a condition called systemic candida. If you suspect that, you might want to listen to our candida video. Chronic silent inflammation in the body, causing an irritation that alters the metabolic rate. There are all kinds of different reasons. And you know, out of desperation, so many people turn to these so-called diet pills. Well, I want to tell you that most of them are unsafe, and the few that are out there are relatively ineffective. Even the new ones that have just received FDA approval, if you read the instructions that accompany that particular product, you will see that they suggest a healthy diet, moderate in calories, moderate in carbohydrates, and so on and so forth. Well, if you followed that, you probably would lose the weight without the product in the first place. A lot of these products are in a category called fat blockers. Beware. Fat blockers have a whole host of side effects, from gastrointestinal upset to spontaneous and uncontrollable evacuation of the bowels, and things you'd probably rather not have happen under most social and even private situations. Weight loss is a complicated thing. We are aggressively pursuing research on weight loss at our research center, and more information will come to light as we go along. If you're interested in following our progress with our diet research, if you would like to take our weight management test and get our advice as to what type of diet you would best be suited for and what type of supplements would help you. You see, that's another thing. Most people, when they go on a diet, they enter a state of starvation because they're nutrient deficient. It is vitally important that you take the right dietary supplements when you're dieting so your body doesn't perceive itself as being starved to death. Because when your body thinks it's starving, it will slow your metabolism to a screaming halt. We can put together a diet and supplement program and work with you step by step as you go along and help you to achieve your weight loss goals. You can reach us at healthyinformation.com. You can also call us toll-free at 888-454-8464. If you wish, you can email my office at askthedoc, ASKTHEDOC, at healthyinformation.com. There is hope for weight loss, safely and effectively, but you've got to use the program that's best suited for your body, not somebody else's. I'm Dr. Whiting, and thanks again for listening.